Metro on WDET. I'm Robin Vincent. One of the biggest issues Detroiters face has to do with their homes. There are a fair number of homes in the city, but over 20,000 of them are in dire need of repairs. That includes leaky roofs, electricity issues, and asbestos in the walls. The problem is big, but one retired firefighter, Gary Ringer, is trying to chip into it. The Detroiter, who mostly helps people on the West Side, has been spending a lot of his time going to people's homes and assisting them with repairs. So what inspires Gary's volunteerism? What are the repairs people are needing? And with the mayoral election next week, what kinds of investments does he think the next mayor should make to facilitate more home repairs? To discuss all this, we have Gary Ringer here. Gary, welcome to the Metro.
Glad to be here.
So first things first, why did you start helping people with home repairs?
Due to that dire need you just spoke to, my experience before becoming a firefighter was home building in the suburbs of Detroit. Once becoming a firefighter and being exposed to thousands of homes and seeing the need on a regular basis, it kind of spurred something in me that wanted to provide some type of assistance and support.
I can imagine being a firefighter in Detroit can be quite harrowing. Can you think back to a time specifically when you were addressing a situation, a fire, and you confronted a home that was really in disrepair?
Outside of a fire, I clearly remember a carbon monoxide incident. 7 people in the home. 6 of those people were rushed to the hospital due to carbon monoxide poisoning. The furnace that went out at the house, they were using the stove to heat the house, but in conjunction with that, there was a faulty error with the furnace. So once they were rushed out of the house, before I even came in the house, one of our officers told us, hey, be careful. There are certain things going on in the house. As soon as I walked in the house, I saw open drywall. I saw a number of issues that were in need of remediation.
How often did that happen where you were seeing those kinds of very serious issues in homes?
Unfortunately, on a regular basis. A lot of the statistics you were just speaking to earlier, most of the people, well, a third of the people in the city of Detroit are living in abject poverty, right? And then even outside of that, due to increased housing costs, whether it be your utility bills, whether it be childcare, whether it be transportation, there are so many things that can prevent an individual from making some of those needed repairs on their own.
You're focused then on the discussion that this is a systemic issue, but although it's a systemic issue and it's hard to repair the system, it sounds like you saw the place where you could chip in, where you could help to repair like a few little cracks in the system.
Yeah, just dating back to my involvement with a nonprofit organization and assisting them with their small repair program. And most of the repairs were done by missionaries, folks that came in during the summer months and wanted to provide some type of support to residents in the city. Looking through those applications, you saw time and time again elderly residents, whether widowed, whether just not having the capacity due to their age or due to just not having the funds, being on a limited income to make some of these dire repairs that they knew and that they stressed within their application could improve their quality of life.
So we're talking about some of the most vulnerable folks in the city. And what are the costs like potentially for them? That is the hurdle, obviously, is the cost of making these repairs.
Absolutely. So if we're looking at, maybe a porch that may be dilapidated, in need of steps, in need of rails, you can look at on the low end a few $100s all the way up to a few $1,000s. When you get inside of a home and you look at certain issues, whether it be a furnace that's going out, then you have costs that are going to skyrocket into possibly tens of thousands of dollars.
It sounds like you want to keep the focus for yourself on service. And it makes me curious about the work of firefighters and how central that notion of service is to that work.
Great question. I think it's innate. People that come onto the job, they just don't come onto the job because they're looking for a job. They're looking for a career. And within that career, they see the need. They see that duty to serve, that call to serve, and they answer that call.
And in answering that call, though, you're risking a lot, no?
You can. A lot of people don't realize, although we do have the Devil's Night moniker from years ago.
Angel's Night now?
Angel's Night
or
now.
no night at all?
Or no night at all, right. It's just a regular day in the city, right?
Right.
But over 80% of our run volume is due to medical emergencies. So within that interaction with the community, we have the ability to have a more empathetic approach than just putting the wet stuff on the red stuff. And within that empathetic approach, we come to learn and become one with the communities that we serve. And then when it's time for us to put out a fire, we're still looking for other ways that we can go above and beyond.
So you were already highly engaged with a lot of community members as a firefighter. And now it sounds like this was a logical way for you to continue that.
Absolutely. Once again, due to my prior background within the construction trades, it was that logical step. Okay, I see the need. How can I support that need? How can I echo that need, not only to the people that I'm at the table with, but then also to elected officials and other people that can possibly support eradicating that need, or at least putting a dent and providing some type of enhancement of that quality of life for our most vulnerable residents.
Help us visualize what it actually looks like then to put a dent in the problem. Give us a day in the life of you learning about someone who has the need for a major home repair. I mean, how are you finding that person? And then walk us through the process.
Most of the work that I do starts with relationships with community organizations. Currently, I do a lot of work with Cody Rouge Community Action Alliance on the west side of Detroit. And within that, they put out, hey, here we have an application. We have some resources. If you are in need of home repairs, let us know. And then they're flooded with applications. From that, the applications are gone through with a fine-tooth comb. We align the support with the need, and then from there, I get the address, I contact the homeowner, and then I come to the house and I do a comprehensive Healthy Homes assessment, not only looking at the repairs that they list as, a need, but then also looking to align other resources to support things that they may not realize might be an issue as well.
So you're not only repairing homes, you're acting kind of like a social worker too.
A lot of times that is a lot of the job. Unfortunately, within the need, that wraparound support is often not addressed from a typical contractor. And that's where nonprofit organizations come in. And that's where I support them within not only supporting their need, but also walking hand in hand with that client, and then making sure that whatever the contractor does is supportive of, once again, enhancing that quality of life, and then allowing us to layer additional resources on top of the resources that we come in with.
Gary, you're just one man. You can only plug so many little cracks in the system. What do you think we need to do politically as a city to support some of the folks that you're talking about?
And I would definitely be remiss if I wouldn't mention the number of nonprofit organizations and the number of people that are at the table doing this work. We have a city home repair task force led by Heather Zigmantovich, and others from across different diasporas. We're talking about philanthropy. We're talking about nonprofit. We're talking about funders, Gilbert Family Foundation. There are a number of people at the table that are addressing this issue because it's not just Detroit.
Right.
It's Metro Detroit, but it's across the country. We have an aging population, and we already know from an infrastructure perspective, we're not just talking about water. We're not just talking about bridges. We're talking about housing. When we talk about the affordable housing crisis, it's not just building more homes. It's helping people to maintain and sustain the homes that they're in.
So a lot of people are working on this. What do you want to see, though, from the next mayor of Detroit when it comes to addressing the issue of aging homes and vulnerable folks who are not able to foot the bill on repairs?
More resources, and not just dollars, but then also alignment with other entities that can help support, whether that be unions that have apprenticeship programs, whether that be foundations, whether that's community colleges. There can be a more comprehensive approach to getting this work done, and we can align not only the substandard housing and the need for repairs with the health inequities that can be contributing to some of those things that are going on in the homes.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I mean, I'm visualizing some of the vulnerable folks that you're helping out here, and the fact that the issues they're dealing with might be intensified by health issues as well. And that might really make someone feel like they can't move forward in any way, shape, or form when it comes to fixing their house, like they're kind of just stuck.
Yeah, and when you look at asthma, which can be enhanced by poor indoor air quality, you can also look at infant maternal mortality rates due to which can be enhanced due to poor indoor air quality. But then I think a lot of times when we think of the physical hazards, we don't also align that with the mental hazard or the mental effect of living in a home where you can't go anywhere else, and you have limited capacity to deal with some of these issues. And once again, looking back at the applications, you can clearly see people, they state like, this can make us feel better.
Wow.
If we had some support, we think that this can enhance our quality of life. I mean, it's really moving to see that people are essentially crying out for help. But I think the thing that's really paramount is there are people that are working on this issue, and we're making some real improvements within the ecosystem.
So you're trying to make homes sanctuaries again for folks. What's the one home repair that's most attainable for folks to make the biggest improvement to quality of life?
Wow, that's a great question. I think you always have to start with that building envelope. So when we refer to the envelope, we're talking about the roof all the way down to the foundation, anything and everything that can prevent water from getting in, because water is a big contributor to mold and other issues, the deterioration of different issues inside of the house. So starting with that roof is always key. But then more importantly, indoor air quality. Over 90% of the homes in Detroit don't have proper ventilation.
Gary Ringer, thanks for doing what you're doing to change that. And thank you for joining me here on the Metro.
Thank you.
This is WDET-FM, Detroit Public Radio, your connection to news, music, and conversation.